The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week we'll be starting with Mike Falk, the town of Lima. Mike, what's going on there?
Hello, Chris. Thanks for having us all. A few things here. Starting off with Livingston County. Livingston County is one of only a couple of counties in the state that is left operating a nursing home. And finally, the Livingston County Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation is just about back to full occupancy after COVID. A huge struggle to get the nursing home back on its legs and going. A lot of it had to do with the amount of contract staff that we were forced to hire once a whole bunch of the nursing staff left. Now we've managed to get the personnel policies around the Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation changed so that we are far more competitive in the market, have restaffed, and we're able to not use quite so much of the high-cost temporary help. But that's good. And of course, if you are considering rehabilitation after your surgery, the Livingston County Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation is actually something that you might consider going to. It appears on no lists up in Monroe County for rehabilitation, but it is a fantastic facility. It is new and beautifully done inside and does not actually feel like a nursing facility. So the Board of Supervisors in Livingston County has declared the month of March as March for Meals in Livingston County. And it's to in celebration of the county's efforts to address food insecurity, loneliness, and malnutrition in residents aged 60 and over. We do offer a very comprehensive senior nutrition plan. We do have congregate meal sites. The closest one, of course, to Lima is in Avon, although the one in Livonia is only just a scotch more. Great program. If you do qualify and you think that you would like to get some help with access to that, give me a call here at the town hall, 582-1130. And I can get you linked up with the folks that do that. We found a set of keys. This is quite a comprehensive set of keys, car keys, electronic keys, security keys, lots of keys over on Buell Ave. We've been unable to locate who they belong to, but if you're missing a gigundous set of keys, come by the town hall, and if you can describe them, I'm sure they are yours. Lastly, if you were ever stationed at Camp Lejeune, the federal government has made all kinds of extra provisions for you. The water at Camp Lejeune was poisoned by a dry cleaning operation who is dumping solvents directly into the ground. And your health problems may be directly a result of that. And not only yours, your children's health problems may be directly a result of that. In order for you to be able to receive any benefits from the federal government for your pain and suffering, your ill health, etc., you have to file by August 10th of this year. Any claims filed after that will be denied. Yes, in this particular case, law firms have been retained to go ahead and process the claims, but you have to be careful. You have to actually have a law firm that is entitled to practice in the actual state where all of these lawsuits were brought. Not all of them are. The American Legion magazine from last month I had a very good article on it from one law firm, the Camp Lejeune Litigation Team.com. Otherwise, locally, the certified place is RobertKingLawFirm.com out of Rochester. And that's all I've got, Chris.
All right, thanks, Mike. Over to John Moffett, Town of Mendon. What's moving there?
Thanks, Chris. I'm going to follow up on last week's conversation regarding the environment. So in the town of Mendon, we have 9 different EPODs, environmental protection overlay districts. Anywhere there's an EPOD, generally the planning board has right to restrict or prohibit activities such as clear cutting trees, removal of vegetation or other ground cover. With all the dead ash trees that we have, I want to remind everybody to check and make sure that you don't have any conservation restrictions. You can check your deed or certainly call the town of Mendon and we will check on that for you. Where there's a proposed development, generally there is a conservation easement. So if when your house was built, there may have been a conservation easement there. You may not realize it, that it's there, but you still have to abide by it because the easement that the town has goes with the property even after the property is sold. The town of Mendon or its designated agent can make inspections at any time that there is, and inspecting obviously the construction if it's a stormwater facility. If there are any violations, the owner may be required to corrective actions. And as I mentioned last week regarding stormwater and tying it into today's discussion about environmental protection districts, that land has been dedicated land or it's an easement. And it's an agreement that the original owner, or if you are the original owner, has with the town of Mendon. And the agreement is filed with the county, as I said, or you can check with us here or check your deed. However, I just want to remind people, if you're, no matter what you're doing on your property, if you think it's going to be cutting down trees or something with the various vegetation, I would suggest you call the town of Mendon offices. We'd be more than happy to provide any information as to your particular property. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, John. Now it's Rick's turn. Rick Mill, Mayor of Honeoye Falls and Legislator of Monroe County. What do we got going on in either of those 2 venues?
Great to see everyone again today. I appreciate my village board of trustees sitting in on some of these meetings over the last couple weeks. And I know in the next couple of weeks, they'll be sitting in again, just trying to get some different perspectives. But we have quite a few things going on in the village. I think my next time on, I'll focus specifically on the county so as not to take up too much time. But the village's main focus right now is what we expect to be a very difficult budget season. We have begun our budget workshops as of this presentation. Our first village workshop was on Saturday, March 2nd. We will be meeting every Saturday beginning at 8 a.m. These meetings are indeed open to the public. These are budget workshops, though, and generally not open to public comment. Certainly, we will hold a public hearing and take all comments on the budget as we move through the process. This budget needs to be approved in early April. March 26th, which is a Tuesday, will be the next Honeoye Falls business meeting. We appreciate many of our local businesses interested in attending these meetings and also look forward to the County of Monroe participating in the next meeting to share programs, ideas, and best practices with our local businesses that may want to look for ways to grow, finance projects, etc. So we're looking forward to that meeting, and that will be held at the Mendon Community Center. We appreciate the town of Mendon letting us use that facility. It works out very well, and that'll be on Tuesday, March 26th, beginning at around 8:30 a.m. And again, a formal announcement in the Sentinel and on our website and Facebook page will be forthcoming. We are working on our lineup, if you will, for the summer Tuesday evening musical program that always takes place at Harry Allen Park. We certainly hope to keep this going and growing, as it's been a well-attended event over the past couple years. As normal, we expect these shows to begin in mid-June and flow through the summer months until mid-August. Each Tuesday, sometimes a week, it might be a Thursday evening, depending on scheduling. So look for that schedule coming up. The now annual Festival at the Falls is scheduled to be on Saturday, August 17th. More details to follow, but this has become a very fun and well-attended festival as well. This year, we are anticipating and hoping to actually shut down Route 65 North Main Street in front of Harry Allen Park for the duration of this event. We're working with the Monroe County DOT and State DOT for those permits. But because of people flowing across the street back and forth with parking, we are also thinking about the potential to have a food and beverage garden in what is known as the old Critics parking lot right now. We're thinking about doing that this year and expanding the event a little bit. So we want to maintain that safety and allow people to walk back and forth across the street freely. So we would have a detour, if you will, more than likely going up Maplewood Avenue to Locust Street and then back down Monroe. So we're working on that right now, but we're looking forward to that event. April 27th will be the day that we are calling Arbor Day in the village of Honeoye Falls. And we will also support our annual Eco Fair, again, at Harry Allen Park that day. This is a very fun presentation, presentations and environmental information that has been well attended in the past, and more information on that will be forthcoming. The village also continues to move through the pro-housing process, which in my opinion is another mandate from the state, but one that the village is already active in. This is simply a process to show support for new housing in enhanced areas of positive dwelling growth within the community. This is something that the village has supported anyway. As is well known, we have a 118 home complex going up at Wolfsburger Park and some other housing development as well. So we're already supporting pro-housing, but without the pro-housing designation, the village could miss out on certain grant funding or discretionary funding from the state. And as I said, I believe this is another mandate from the state, but at the same time could be financially beneficial for the village. So we believe moving this designation forward is important. This week, we're very excited to say that TK's on the Falls is officially opening. This past week, they did receive their final approvals from the state and county health departments. They are opening up on Wednesday, the 6th of March. And we really are excited to have this new facility open up right at the Four Corners in the village in what was known as the Brewery Restaurant for a lot of years. It's sat idle now for a number of years. And we want to thank Todd Klug and his family for leasing this building and getting this restaurant opened up. We're very, very excited about it. And we know the community is as well. One other thing that I wanted to bring up is that, the eclipse is coming up. You're going to continue to see a lot of information coming out on the eclipse, which is April 8th. The village of Honeoye Falls is not having any type of a festival or anything like that for this huge event. We know it is a huge event, but we also don't want to compete against some of our neighbors and some of the other events that are already happening. We know our friends in Lima have a really nice event planned. We've seen some of that, those promotional events, those promotional details. And, we feel that there's going to be a lot going on around the Monroe County area. We're also hoping that our businesses, some of our local businesses, are going to be having some events of their own. So we hope to work with our neighboring communities and our local businesses to work with the Sentinel to make sure we get all that information out there. But certainly, Harry Allen Park is going to be a great place to view the eclipse. The Fireman's Field on Monroe Street will be opened, and that will be a nice place. But hopefully, we'll all work on this together and support Lima, support anything happening in Mendon. I know 20 Deep has an event going on with Rotary that day as well. So a lot of things going on, but we'll work to make sure that we help promote any events happening. And then lastly, I do want to say that one other project that we've talked about in the village is the West Main Street Sidewalk project. Those plans continue to move forward, but we're also very excited to state that we did get notification this week that the West Main Street corridor, West Main Street itself, is indeed going to be resurfaced this summer. It is in real rough shape. We've had a lot of complaints from, those driving through the community about West Main Street, and we're very happy to say that Monroe County does have that as an active project for this year. So we're going to try to make sure that that gets tied in to our sidewalk project so we can get the sidewalk project done first, and then the roadway will get paved after. We hope that that timing will indeed happen so that we're all coordinating things, together. We understand this is going to be a big project. It's going to create some angst for some people, traversing and commuting through the village. But we need to get these projects done, and we will do the best to make sure that everything is very well detailed in the Sentinel and on our website and Facebook pages so that people know what's coming. With that, Chris, thank you as always. I appreciate it, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Well, thank you, Rick. Next, we have Jim Kirch. It's his first time here. He's newly elected supervisor of the town of Wheatland. Jim, how we doing?
Yeah, good. So I'll just kind of give a couple month update since I haven't made anything. We've got our full staff in place. We had to replace our attorney and our dog control officer, so we're fully up and running. We feel like we got a great attorney and a great dog control officer, so we're very happy about that. As far as we just came out of our February season, we had our Sweetheart Dance. It was very well attended, very well thought of. Everyone was very excited about that. I'm kind of focusing right now on grant initiatives. Along those lines, I met with Rick Hauser down in Perry, and I just want to mention his name because he is an awesome source for everything grant related. He's actually taken his architectural firm and created a little company with inside of it where he works with various towns and villages all around the area for grants and grants initiatives. And he's been fantastic. What a wealth of information, a very high energy guy. And I just wanted to mention that I really enjoyed meeting with him and talking to him. One of the other things we're trying to do, when I see Steve has joined, is we're doing a print newsletter. We used to have one years ago. It got dropped. Our demographics sort of speak to the idea of a print newsletter, and we're pretty excited about it. We had a big meeting on it today. I put about 3/4 of it together already. I've actually copied Steve's format out in Henrietta. It's been a really good format to follow. The information there is excellent. And we're working really hard on that, and pretty excited about that. We're going to try to do 3 a year. We've gotten some recent, feedback on the website, and we're looking at that as well, how we can improve that. But we also thought along with that, this idea of the print newsletter would be a really valuable thing. As I've shopped it around to the seniors, to a lot of the business owners, the fire districts, the library, the historians, everyone wants to contribute. Everyone likes the idea. So I'm very excited about that, starting that. Everything is on townofwheatland.org is the website. I also wanted to talk about the eclipse. We are also not doing anything as a town. We have two large entities here within our town, the Genesee Valley Country Museum and Stokey Farms, which are both doing large scale events. I would encourage anyone who's interested in a place in the country, out away from all lights, to come to either to have a look, see it, what's going on. They're planning multiple events around the eclipse. We're trying to keep folks engaged after the eclipse, so it's not like a Buffalo Bills game where everybody leaves at the same time, just to try and control the traffic patterns a little bit. And our big project this summer that we're looking at right now is our municipal lot. We're endeavoring to get it paved, milled and repaved. So we're putting a lot of time and energy into that. It's a lot right in the center of town. The village offices use it. One of the banks uses it, and the post office uses it. So it gets a ton of use. We also have a lot of people that use it who have apartments in town. So, and it needs repair. So we're really looking at a strong effort there to get that done this year. I think that's about it for me.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Good job. All right, now it's over to Steve in the town of Henrietta. How are we hopping in Henrietta? Oh, Steve, you got to put your.
Yep, it just told me. The big news is that in less than 2 hours, I will be signing the closing papers for the clubhouse at the Riverton Golf Course. This has been a long time in the works. I won't go into the details as to why it's taken so long, other than to say it was outside of the town's control. So it'll be a race to get that building ready for opening on May 1st, but that's our plan. Speaking of the golf course, irrigation system installation is going well. We're finishing the last portions of phase 1, which was installing the main line for the irrigation. And we're starting on phase 2, which installs the laterals and the sprinkler heads. And we also have had measurements taken and have ordered the new irrigation pumps and are part of phase 3. That bid was awarded at the last town board meeting. So again, the plan is to have that all done through the month of April so that we can open in May. The town has actually owned the golf course forever, but there used to be an outside operator, and they announced a bit over a year ago that they're no longer going to operate. So we weren't able to get something in place to operate last year, so we took that time to do major improvements, all new sprinkler or irrigation system, and we redid all the sand traps. So a lot of work has been going in there. Town has 2 rezones coming up. A portion of Middle Road, basically north of the Thruway, south of Erie Station Road, south of Lehigh Station Road. It's comprised primarily of town lands, although we've given a few of the residents who live along there the option of either rezoning to industrial or staying like the current zoning, which is residential. The idea is to be consistent with the surrounding industrial zone land. So the lands to the north, the west, and to the east are all industrial. And it better aligns what the town uses the land for anyways. We've been using it for years for construction, supply storage, and a fill site for heavy industrial millings. We're kind of immune to zoning, but I believe that, hey, if we're going to make other people live up to the rules, we should follow the rules too. So let's make it consistent. The other rezone, before I move on, the town also plans to turn the full portion of the fill site into our new leaf and brush drop off, as well as an organic compost site. Our current leaf and brush drop off site is way in the southwest corner of town and not the easiest for everyone to get to. This is right smack dab in the middle of town, and it's right near our DPW, so it'll be much easier for us to operate. As far as the compost, we're issuing a call for proposals for an operator for the compost site, with the plans to make the compost facility free to any resident who wishes to participate by dropping off organic compostable material. We're also going to negotiate with the operator to do some pickup for those residents who otherwise, for whom it might be difficult to drop off. The other rezone is Brooks Road. It's a largely agricultural area. There are 4 major farms on the road. It's identified in our comprehensive land use update as one of the areas with prime soil and prime agricultural area. And yet it's in our residential R115 as opposed to our rural residential zone. So we're working to correct that. It took a little while because we had to submit petitions. It's not that many people said no, it was just getting people to actually return the petition to say yes. We had to get above 50% of the ownership to do that. We crossed that threshold a week ago, so we're gonna start the seeker process. Now we're essentially declaring our intent to be lead agency. So those 2 are both in the works, and we'll go from there. Some updates on past projects. We finally were able to complete the purchase of streetlights from RG&E, a process that took over a year. And that's, again, all outside the town's control. RG&E was slow as can be, and then the Public Service Commission was as slow, if not slower. But it finally changed in typical RG&E fashion. It actually closed, and it took them a week to tell us that the sale had happened. The transfer had completed internally for them. So anyway, this past week, we've been replacing the existing streetlights with new energy efficient LED lights. Crews for the town have already replaced 62% of the Cobra headlights. That's basically the large overhead ones you see, on like state routes, major intersections, things like that. And we've completed replacing 6% of the post hop or colonial lights. In all cases, we're focusing on those lights that have been out of operation, many of which have been out of operation for some time, since RG&E was not always the speediest when it came to replacing lights. And ever since this sale was in process, they seem to have been even less incented to replace them. So all told, we're about 1/4 done, which is pretty good for our first week doing so. So by that estimate, we should be done in 3 more weeks. This change saves us $26,000 a month in utility service charges, which is how we're paying for this work. We're not spending any taxpayer dollars. It's all being paid for from the utility savings charges. And then the town will have Eclipse events. We're going to have them at Tinker Park, the library, and the rec center. We're working with the sheriff's office and other first responders to try to coordinate response, especially with potential traffic issues. Coming up, the rec center has a flashlight Easter egg hunt for teens. That is Friday, March 22nd, and then an Easter egg hunt for children. That is Saturday, March 23rd. Obviously the flashlight one is later, whereas the Easter egg one is at noon. I don't actually have the start time for the flashlight. Sorry about that. So that's about it.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Anybody else remember anything that they want to add? Seeing none, thank you all for being here. Thank everybody out there in TV land for watching this. Remember, this is broadcast every Sunday at 1 p.m. on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Like the Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and those platforms will notify you when the show begins airing. That's all for this week. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye for now.
Take care, everybody.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.